Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
You know you need fiber for a healthy gut, but do you actually know how to get it? Quaker's been serving up fiber since 1877, with over 100 great-tasting, good source of fiber options to choose from. Whether you like old-fashioned oats, instant oatmeal, granola, or oatmeal squares, Quaker makes it delicious. So good. Get your fiber with Quaker. Shop Quaker's good source of fiber products at a store near you.
What's up, everyone? We're here to talk about a victory this past weekend for Orange County on the road in Oakland at the Coliseum, 1-0 over Oakland Roots. As I've said multiple times this season, all you have to do is not concede goals, score one goal, you're good to go. I know not all of you like that part of it. We also have matches, again, plural matches that we're going to be talking about. League match this coming weekend against New Mexico United, and the Open Cup is back at Championship Soccer Stadium as Orange County will be hosting Phoenix Rising tomorrow evening. Got a lot to talk about. Let's get right into this. Welcome to the Show of Champions. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. How's it going, Orange County? Welcome to another episode of the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, the first and only show dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans and supporters. I'm your host, Ray Samora. I'm here to take you through this journey as we discuss all things Orange County Soccer Club. Got a nice, fun show, and I got some fun co-hosts to help out with that. First, the original co-host, Mr. Dylan, looking all fancy, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm mostly surprised that you referred to me as fun. I don't think anyone's ever actually referred to me as fun before, but thank you, Ray.
We've got fancy Dylan on the show. Do we have fancy Brad?
Oh, no, you did not. Regular Brad.
Brad, did you not get the memo that you had to be fancy today?
Nope.
How are you feeling after the weekend match?
I mean, I'm still not completely satisfied with the team's performances here. There's still so much left on the table in terms of goal scoring. But 3 points is 3 points, and we'll never say no to 3 points.
Well, let's bring on one last member of our show tonight, and that is Matt Elder. Matt, how are you feeling?
Good, man. I honestly, for the first part of the season, I don't really care about performance. Like, as long as we don't look terrible, then get 3 points, get out of there.
Get 3 points and get out of there. That's definitely a fun way to look at it. 3 points on the road is always a benefit for any team that's trying to compete for high table positioning entering the playoffs. Before we get into the match, I do want to just say one thing. As I was watching the match this weekend, I'm all for, and I'm glad that Oakland Roots have a proper-ish stadium at the Coliseum. It's built and it's set up for their soccer. But man, am I the only one that looks at it and be like, it just the fan experience? They just seem like they're so far away from the action. Do you notice that? Does that bother you at all, Dylan?
Last year when I was there, and I really wish we had Nathan on tonight so he could speak more to it, it doesn't actually feel like you're all that far away if you're on the end. I feel like the Roots fans probably feel similarly. Their supporters groups are based in what is technically, I guess, left field. So they're higher up, but kind of similarly just looking down on things and certainly make plenty of noise. So it could be a lot worse. I mean, they could still be at, I think, Cal State East Bay is where they were.
Or Laney College.
Laney College. Yeah.
Or what's the other one? Castro Valley Community College.
Oh, okay. Apparently they
Isn't
had a third
Oakland,
home.
isn't the Coliseum one of those stadiums too that has like the bullpens on the sides? So it's like even further.
It did, yes. They were, I think, the last baseball stadium to do that. Of course, now it's kind of a mixed use thing. I mean, should we ask old Raiders fans how they felt watching Raiders games with dirt on the pitch? It doesn't feel as bad as when you get stuck in the back corner of, insert random stadium here, and you're like,
Okay.
staring out into the distance. Oh, what copyrighted music was that, Ray?
Apparently my wife decided to play music in the house and she put it on all speakers instead of just the one she was listening to. Let's get into the match with Orange County Soccer Club at Oakland. A random weird, I guess, kids' day. So they started it 2 hours early so kids can get home in time for bedtime, apparently. I guess better than what Orange County used to do, where they would do it at like noon in July in the 95-degree heat. But Orange County travels to Oakland. They get the 1-0 victory. A few things that I noticed in this match that I want to bring up, and then we can sort of get a general discussion. I feel like Orange County, as much as people probably are panicking or looking at this and be like, I did not like it. I'm going to have to be the bearer of bad news to people. I think this is going to be Orange County's identity for 2026. We are going to be a team that is going to try and pick and choose when we're going to go on the attack. We're going to try and play solid defense. We're going to try and build out from the back, and then we're going to try and pop and attack. And I think when you look at some of the attackers that we have on the team this season, that sort of leads to what we have there. And if you watch this match against Oakland, that's exactly what they were doing. They were playing some defense, building it out from the back, and looking for, their couple of good opportunities, and hopefully one of those opportunities becomes a goal. I will give props to Orange County. They looked pretty comfortable building out of the back with Oakland's high press more than a few times. There were some mistakes. It's early in the season. They're still figuring out, but there was a sequence. I wrote down a note, but I can't remember exactly when it was, and I can't find the note now, but there was a sequence maybe around the 20-minute mark or so where they made a good 8 to 9 passes building out of the back, and they played it long. Unfortunately, didn't quite get to their attacker properly for an attempt. Another thing I noticed, 2 players that stuck out to me is Mo War. Mo War is now officially a right back. He looks solid in the position. I think it wasn't until like the 70th minute, I noted it as the 75th minute is the first time I was watching the match where I'm like, oh yeah, Mo is new at this position. So there was a mistake there. Other than that, he looked pretty solid for most of this match, and he's looked like that most of the match this season. Also, let's give props to Bunbury for his attacking. He really pressed and got a few opportunities. They didn't quite go in, and then early in the second half, he blasts one in on a mistake from the Oakland goalkeeper. I guess he slipped. That's what he was trying to make it look like he did, at least. Who knows? Dylan, your thoughts on this match overall, and if you want to disagree with anything I said, by all means, go for it.
You said so much I can't even begin to know where to disagree. I'm glad to see, first off, Ryan Martin really keep it going with his classic styling. That just always makes me so happy. I see Matt nodding along. I feel like
golfers. He looks like Scotty Scheffler. I don't know why I'm getting that vibe.
Yeah.
I was going to say he always looks like he should be golfing, and I really do just imagine that if Matt found himself on the touchline in charge of a club, that's exactly what he would look like. And I guess I should, just enjoy it for what it is. All the same, I think Orange County is kind of figuring out, like you mentioned, their identity for this year. And are we the best team in the league? I don't think so. Are we going to probably cause problems for teams and be unpredictable? Yes. That goes both ways, where we're probably going to have matches where our inexperience is not ideal and maybe we don't play up to our collective potential. That's still okay. To go against a team that has someone like Nabil Hackshaw, someone like Danny Trejo, and I'm well aware that Nabil Hackshaw is, in fact, a defender. But to largely nullify the opposition while on the road, that's good for Orange County, and that's something that we've struggled at in the past. So now we don't go into every single away match thinking, all right, it's just a matter of time before we lose. We've kind of proven that we can do it. So it's a good place. Would have much preferred it to be 2-0, even though the graded opportunity for that was at the very end of the match. But all the same, it's okay. It's 3 points in the right direction. And like Matt, it's nice to watch nice stuff, but at this point in the season, where everyone's still trying to figure out how to play, I'll take some chaos. I'll just take 3 points and move on to the next week.
Well, and if we recall, if you watched the match on the stream, the commentators were even saying the exact same thing I was sort of talking about, what Dylan and maybe Matt are thinking about is, I think they made a comment, someone like the fans want an exciting game. The coaches don't really want that at this point. They want to try and build something. That's sort of what you're seeing from Orange County. But I really do think that this is going to be Orange County's identity this season. They're not going to be a team that's going to just get, 10 shots on goal a match. It's going to be limited shots on goal, but they're looking more for the quality shot on goal, and they're looking to just not concede goals. I don't have the league records in front of me right now, but I would assume their 2 goals conceded in 4 league matches is probably up towards the top of the USL rankings on that. Brad, your thoughts on Orange County? Do you like the potential of that style soccer for them this year?
It's very boring soccer to watch. Like, we'll be completely honest. It's not the funnest, if that's a word. But if it's the soccer we get and it produces results like this, I don't think any of the 4 of us are going to complain, except just it is hard to watch.
What do you think of them going to Oakland and getting the 3 points? Was it deserved? Did they deserve the 3 points on this road trip?
Yeah, Danny Stone has the team looking very defensively solid. Definitely agree with the playing out of the back mentality that the team's been successful with. It looks like this week they had a little bit more success playing against the press, unlike other weeks. But at the same time, this is still that level that we talk about every week where one mistake, teams are going to punish you. So while we're definitely good with a 1-goal lead, as we have proven over the last couple of weeks, I still don't think 1 goal is good enough. And the league has us at a 20th rank team in the league because of the lack of goaling, and kind of confused that we look through that.
The lack of goaling. Is that a new word that the podcast is going to create?
I'll accept it. To take a brief moment, Orange County is currently tied second best in third best, as it were. San Antonio and Tampa have both only conceded 1 goal so far. Orange County and Detroit have managed to concede 2.
I did confirm, if you get a chance to watch the replay, if you have access to it, go check out Orange County's building out of back around the 13-minute mark. There was a moment, really good quick passes. It was on the right side. Mo War was involved. And then they got it down the pitch. Again, unfortunately, it didn't lead to something on there, but just the how comfortable they were with that ball and moving it nice and quickly and breaking down this press. It really made Oakland look silly at that point. Matt, I want to get to you really quick. Part of the reason probably some of the fans may think that Orange County didn't look great in this match is it looks like they were trying to make sure they don't concede that equalizer like they did against Las Vegas. So for the final 20 some odd minutes, it looked like they were just, basically being bamboo. They just wanted to bend, but they didn't want to break and give up that goal. They were just clearing the ball whenever they didn't have another opportunity. Does that bother you, or do you think that's the proper way to play on the road against what would be considered maybe a pretty tough opponent?
Yeah, I mean, kind of what I was saying earlier. If we're in September and we're playing this way, I'm a little more concerned, or a little more okay, let's, we should be doing a little better here going forward. But I think early in the season, especially considering our history of being a terrible team until July, I'm much more results oriented. I'm much more, just be defensive, keep it tight. If even if we do concede there on that like chance they had at the very end of the game, we still walk away with a point. So for me, I'm always someone who's a football purist. I do like to play out from the back. I do like to keep the ball on the ground. I like all these things, but early in the season when you're still kind of figuring it out, when we have some new players that are still, trying to get some chemistry built up and doing all that, just keep it tight. Try to get one. We capitalized on a mistake, very Mourinho-esque type of thing. Let them make one mistake, keep it tight, take the point or the 3 points, go home.
Matt, are you totally happy with things until we start becoming like a long throw team? Is that when you're going to draw the line at the?
See, here's the thing. No, I'm. It's hard for me. I've talked about this. Like, I can't fault the way Arsenal are with their whole set piece FC thing. Like, the set pieces is boring, but like it's depressing how we've switched places, right? Chelsea used to be a much more effective team, and maybe not as fun to watch. And they were winning trophies every year. And then now we're the team that wants to pass the ball into the goal and be perfect, but maybe never win anything anymore. I'd go back to the former in a heartbeat. So yeah, as much as I'd love to see us like play swashbuckling, fun soccer, I'm totally fine with boring soccer that gets 3 points, especially considering where we are in the season.
Well, I know Ray actually he wants to hate it, but Ray is a defense first man. And also we did win, our greatest club achievement off the back of win 1-0 ball for 5 months. So.
Defense wins, Dylan. That's all I care about. I want to get each of your reaction. I have 3 separate quick topic reactions I want to get from you. I want to ask you who wants to go first.
I'll go first, but really quick, I also want to say I like the balance right now with playing out from the back. We're not forcing it, but we're also not just lumping it up as like a first instinct. I think kind of to your point, Ray, like we're doing some nice stuff out from the back. But we're also, if it's tight, just clear it out, reset. We don't have to force mistakes from ourselves, just in the spirit of like, we want to play it out from the back and, which some teams are definitely guilty of, especially like in the Premier League and other leagues where everyone's trying to be prime Barcelona. There's definitely a balance to be struck, especially at this level. I think we're doing a decent job with it.
You sort of led me into where I was going to go with, since you're going first on this. I want to talk about, it was roughly around the 58th minute, a good team effort to keep the ball out of the back net. I believe in that Tom Brewitt headed close to the goal line to get the ball away. I didn't know if that shot was actually on target, if it was going to go wide. And then you also saw a couple great saves from Rando between the sticks. What are your thoughts on the team defensive effort, especially in that moment where I think it was Brewitt heads it out, and then there was also another like foot or body clearance involved in that as well?
Yeah, I still get a little. I mean, we still gave up a few chances. On another day, we lose that game 2-1. I mean, they had 2 pretty good chances. That one at the end, and then the one that we just saw a few minutes ago where Rando gets goes 1-on-1 and saves it. So not to contradict everything I've just said, but like I don't know if this team can just rely on 1-0 wins. We might be looking at like a couple games that are a little sample size. But I think for now, like I said, it's working. We're early in the season. Let's just hope for the best, I suppose.
All right, Brad Dillon, who wants to go next? All right, Brad, you get this question, and this is just something that I, again, noticed as I was watching the match when Yaniv Bazzini got subbed out. I sort of looked at it like, oh, he played this match. I didn't even realize he played the match. Is there concern there that we didn't really notice him in the match for the time he was in there, and then Liam McKinnon comes on and you actually sort of notice a little bit of action up there from him?
No, I'm not concerned at all about a player like Yaniv Bazzini being a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Not missing, but anonymous. If we're going to be playing a game where attacking is kind of oh God, I'm like really struggling for words today. But if we're going to be playing where attacking is kind of a rarity, then I have no issue with an attacking player being kind of anonymous. He did play some really good defense over the game. But I do want to highlight, speaking of defense, we need to give Rando a lot more credit. He made, in the second half alone, 4 really fantastic saves, 2 of them diving to his left. Matt alluded to the one-on-one in the 74th minute, I think it was. Just shows where good goalkeeping, can go and how it can benefit the team. Because look at the other side of the field. Our only goal comes in off of a mistake from the goalie being out of position. Bunbury's goal, and other than that, we had like one quality chance with a good shot on target in the 4th minute, also from Bunbury. This was a game where it was a privilege to get a chance on goal, and the team's burying it. Like I said, all of last year, good teams are lucky, not just good.
All right. Dylan, since you're last, I'm going to give you this. I will let the others chime in on this as well, but I wanted to talk about the wild and crazy ending to this match. On a set piece for Oakland, they pull the goalkeeper up, and we know Dylan is very familiar with goalkeepers coming up to try and score at the end of a match. Luckily, Orange County clears it out, and it looks like they're on a break, and the Oakland keeper decides to take that extra ball sitting right next to the net and just boot it down the pitch. For a moment there, it seemed like the ref wasn't going to do anything about it. Maybe they didn't notice it or what, but I believe after like a minute of discussions, he pulls out the red card. So this is a multiple part question for you, Dylan, and then I'll get the thoughts from Brad and Matt on this. Was a red card, would you consider that the correct card in this instance? And what the heck is going on with the goalie? And third part, what do you think of Tommy McCabe basically hustling and saving that second goal from going in the back of the net from Orange County?
All right. I'm going to start I think work my way backwards here. You can see effing Tommy McCabe recognize so early on that Usman Silla's head is down and he's going to shoot this. And you see him open up his stride with Silla's back to goal, and he's pretty much one track mind. Like, I'm going to play everybody on here. I'm going to get back and try and save this. And it works out. So, that's our boy.
Props to him.
Yeah, props to him. That was really well read and really well done. And you can see why he's not only continued to have a career at this level, but is also one of his coach's most trusted players. Is it a red card? I think yes, because ultimately, while the line, within the spirit or within the law of the game is that's only a yellow for attempting to delay a restart. I've seen discussion of, it's yellow because he's left the field of play without permission. And then it's a second yellow because he's thrown a ball in to try and delay a restart. We've seen 2 yellow cards be given as a red in USL before. I think it happened with Tacoma and Reno, actually. Maybe Brad might remember. It was obviously that long ago. But if you don't kind of clamp down on stuff like this, that is very much against the spirit of the game, which I think is something that referees are kind of supposed to adjudicate, then you do end up with really stupid trends. We talked about long throws earlier. You do end up stupid trends where like every goalkeeper is going to start doing this. And it's really funny to watch a Bundesliga keeper do this when they're caught out and they're just throwing a ball onto the pitch and it's the sideline. Like, that's a hilarious yellow to pick up. But doing something like this, like, you probably should clamp down on such a clear issue where someone is pretty much about to take shot on goal and kind of knock that one out before it becomes a league-wide thing.
Producer Andy, welcome.
Hey, really quick, I just wanted to throw out there regarding do we say IFAB or is it IFAB? I don't know. The committee that writes the rules for FIFA. There's a line in the beginning of the laws where they have like I'm going to call it a preamble, but that's not what it is. Where there's a sentence there that basically says, hey, we can't write laws that address every situation. So it's on the referee to use good judgment. And there's even a kind of a in quotes thing like where they say, what would football want? So it's on the referee's discretion to apply discipline that's not addressed specifically in the laws, because as has been pointed out by pretty much every referee content creator on social media, there's no law that specifically addresses a player throwing an object on the field to delay play, only if it's like, someone on the sideline or something. It's a really weird situation. I have to imagine IFAB corrects that later. Anyway, I'm out.
Ray's camera keeps freezing and it's killing me, dude. It looks like he's just staring.
He needs that city side fiber.
Anyways,
I was trying to update my computer before the show and decided to take like a darn hour to do so. Brad, before you talk, I just want to just also mention, I thought it was pretty hilarious that during the whole match, the announcers were talking about the goalkeeper competition for Oakland and who's going to start the next match. And I love the joke towards the end is like, well, I guess we know who's starting next match. It's not going to be, what is it, Spiegel or Spiegel?
Spiegel.
Go ahead, Brad.
So this was a very kind of humorous situation all around. I do want to give props to the rest of the Oakland team for calling out Spiegel being so far forward with 2 minutes left in the game, a stoppage. Definitely not the right decision from his end. He was screaming something like, "Trust me, I got this." And he does get within the play. He does get his head near the ball, but absolute boneheaded decision. And then speaking of boneheaded decisions, I do think, and I love him so much, Usman Silla needs to look for a pass there. He had multiple teammates running the field who were wide open. Not scoring there is a little bit of a travesty given the situation, as a 3-on-2. But Tommy McCabe makes it a hell of a play to even keep that out of the net on what was a good shot. It just wasn't the best chance there.
Matt, your thoughts on that whole crazy, wild conclusion to the match that saw Orange County victorious? Absolute
cinema. I loved it. I thought like that's peak shithousery right there that I just love to see. That like you can't make that up. Like just that he decided to do that. I will defend Silla a little bit. Okay, as someone who's been in that situation, albeit in a pickup game, the panic that you have because he doesn't really necessarily know that keeper ran the other way to kick the ball onto the field. So in his mind, Silla thinks like the keeper's booking it and he just needs to like try to get away. He's got a defender on him. Like he should be scoring there, but also I wouldn't say it's a travesty or that, like you would expect him necessarily to do that. He should find the pass, but in that moment, you're just like, I gotta shoot. Like I gotta kick it before the, goalkeeper runs back. So I could see why he had the panic, you can tell, and just trying to get rid of it and put some laces through it. Hopefully, he hits it a little harder next time. But I loved it. I mean, I was dying laughing. I thought that was just awesome. Like, what a like the thought process, the fact that he instantly, like, it wasn't like he like did the kind of double take of like, oh, what should I do here? Like, he immediately goes for that ball and kicks it onto the field. And yeah, just to comment on that, it's a red card. Like, absolutely. Yeah. People comparing it to the German one. That one was a throw in. Like, it was the ball that was like already being used. This one was absolutely egregiously like you're trying to cheat. So I'm all for a red card there.
Yeah, it's just the benefit of multi-ball, right? Like 14 years ago, it was Joe Hart like screaming expletives at a ball boy. Like you would have to like rob a child to get a ball, 10, 15 years ago. But now you can just grab it off a cone.
Neto and just push the guy a little bit.
Yeah, or the Eden Hazard one, you can just kick them too.
That one was also cinema.
These things are terrible for maybe the people involved, but ultimately so funny and so amazing for the sport.
Can I just say, if those one or two or three, I can't remember exactly how many OC players, if any of them decide to sprint down Albie Skendi style like Tommy McCabe was, maybe one of them could have outpaced Tommy McCabe to that ball and maybe tried to tap it in. Who knows? But if you look at the replay, none of the Orange County players thought to do that. And I can understand why, because you're trying to hold on to the 1-goal lead. Why push too many people forward and then potentially get caught out of position on a break? But even if just one of them tries, I don't think Tommy McCabe is the absolute fastest person on the pitch for this match. So there could have been a potential there, but obviously it didn't happen. So that is the outcome of that. In the end, Orange County still, spotless on the loss column for the USL Championship season, which I know in the past we get off to like a good 2 or 3 game start, and then it just sort of collapses around match 4 to 6. I don't see that right now, but I guess I could be wrong, because last year I thought we were going to be this offensive juggernaut after the first match, and then something happened. But, again, sitting second in the West, 4 matches in, I know it's early, but it's a nice feeling. You could be in other positions, like our upcoming 2 opponents, New Mexico United, Phoenix Rising. They're both sitting towards the bottom of the Western Conference table. Again, 4 matches in for us and probably most of the teams in the league. Probably not much to take on that right now, right, Matt?
I mean, hey, we're there. They're not. We'll see what happens towards the end of the season, but you can only beat what's in front of you, and we've started well. It's better than not starting well. So there you go. There's some expert commentary for you.
Well, Orange County is going to look to proceed and continue the spotless record on the loss column this coming weekend. We will talk about the Open Cup. We're going to save that for last. We're going to do like we did last week, talk about league matches first. Open Cup will be at the end of the show. They will be hosting New Mexico United, who again are not off to the hottest of starts, but they tend to do good against Orange County when you look at it historically. What are your thoughts, Dylan? Is Orange County potentially going to be in trouble because of the congestion with the Open Cup match and maybe overlooking a team that's struggling early on? What are your thoughts on this match at home against the team from New Mexico?
The team from New Mexico. It's in the name. I've taken a lot of flack for being the most negative person on the show before and for not being hyped enough. And I do think Ray needs to start taking that one, because he's always worried about people getting injured, and he's worried about us overlooking opponents. And while these are all probably realistic possibilities, we are a handful of matches into the season. I don't think fixture fatigue is a thing when you've been playing for less than 2 months. We have enough players and enough young players who are itching for something to prove. We have guys coming back from injury that need minutes. We'll be okay. It's going to be just fine.
So Dylan seems like he's just totally comfortable with this upcoming match. No worries. He probably thinks we're going to win easily. Brad, do you agree with Dylan on that sort of thought of this match, or is this a potential trap match for Orange County?
I don't think this is a trap match per se. We know New Mexico United just came off of a top finish in the West last year. It's not like they're a bad team with their minimal turnover for some of their players. Look, New Mexico's a good team. They're very likely going to bring their best effort to Championship Soccer Stadium. Despite the bad start, they just got their first points and win on the season in a 3-2 early heads-up game against Colorado Springs Switchbacks, who played as a close game as well. It's really going to be up to Orange County finding those goals to minimize, the lead that we need to have in order to just maintain the continuous results of being undefeated. If New Mexico scores 2 against us, I'm not very confident that we can score 2 ourselves to keep that streak alive.
Matt, let me get your thoughts on this upcoming match. With New Mexico, they also are in an Open Cup match midweek against El Paso. So they will have the difficulty of having to travel to Orange County with only a few days between matches. What does Orange County need to do to ensure they keep their spotless record on the loss column in this match?
Yeah, I think it's going to be similar to the first few games. Keep it tight. I will say, as far as their record versus ours, it's always hard to say early in the season. It could be that the teams they've lost to end up being the best teams in the league this year, and the teams we've beaten are the worst ones. So you never really know. We'll kind of see how it all goes, and like I said, just keep it going, keep it tight. Hope the offense starts to gel a little more, and we can get a little more of a comfortable lead. But they're a great team last year. I don't know that they've necessarily lost everybody for that to change. So we'll see. They could just be people in Orange County where they just sleep for the first couple months and then wake up halfway through the year.
Well, as much as we like to pretend that we are going to know what's going to happen with New Mexico United against Orange County, we don't watch much New Mexico United soccer/football, but a good friend of the show, Chris Walker, does, and that's why we invited him on this week to help talk to us about this upcoming match. Chris, first and foremost, thank you for joining us, especially when our Clippers are playing tonight. So I know you're taking some time away from the tube to come talk New Mexico United.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me on the show again.
Glad to have you on. We were just talking about the upcoming match, New Mexico United coming to Irvine to face Orange County Soccer Club. Orange County has not had any blemish on their loss record. New Mexico has, unfortunately for you. Both teams are playing midweek in the Open Cup, but New Mexico has the misfortune of having to then travel to Southern California. How do you think that's going to impact the club? Do you think that's going to impact them in their quality of play against Orange County? Do you see, are they focusing more on the cup or more on league play at this point? What are you seeing from them, Chris?
I think they want to win it all, honestly. I don't think one is, I think, obviously you want to win both, right? You want to win both competitions. And at some point with the USL Cup in play, you'll be trying to win all three, and you'll have to obviously be strategic about your lineups. So, having a game tomorrow against El Paso, obviously it's a rivalry. So as much as it's tactics, we all know tactics go out the window. It becomes such a passionate game. I definitely think we'll be resting up starters a little bit. Hopefully, the guys that are in tomorrow can kind of take care of the job, so that we're not necessarily having to maybe pull in some of the starters earlier, as we were in our previous Open Cup match. Some guys had the night off, but they were, called into action. So, I think those are the things you kind of consider. So, based on how things could go tomorrow, if, they go ahead and just, wax El Paso like a candle, then basically, then we're looking at Saturday, and they'll have some rest, right? They'll have a day or two. I mean, I know they'll be training. Obviously they'll typically take off Thursday, more or less. It's usually like 2 days plus. So, for what it's worth, I mean, maybe it's good that they're going to have those two games in a short span of time, so to say. So that's what I think.
No, that's perfect. It's interesting when you look at it. You're sort of making it sound like New Mexico thinks El Paso is going to be a nice breeze of a match, and they're going to sort of rest some of their key players. But you also said they're fighting for the cup. Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be an easy match by any means, but I do think that when it comes to the rivalry, we're going to definitely talk some strong banter. So essentially, we do want to just go ahead and wax them and kind of get them off the map. So hopefully, like I said, with that being a passionate game this early on, it's for the Open Cup. We still remember what things were last year with El Paso knocking us out. So, that being said, we do hope that the guys go out there and kind of make it seem like light work, especially after the way they played against Colorado Springs the other day, and just how hard fought that was, and how that was a fight back into the match, ultimately killing it at the death. So By any means, I think that we have the sort of team where, that squad could get it done. There are some challenges, obviously, right? Like, in the first couple of games, we were holding the ball a lot. Their possession, was ranking in the 60s, 70s, at portions of the game, and that was a bit problematic. That definitely stuck out on our radar. We talk about it on our podcast, The State of United. But we look at this last match against Colorado Springs, possession kind of leveled out a little bit, seemed like it was about equal through things. And, in areas that we normally kind of really look at, which is like, how many passes did they do? Like, are they hitting like 600 passes in the match? Is it over rotation? But it wasn't in that one. I mean, clearly like they were under 300 as far as, how many passes they had in this last match. And that, to me, speaks numbers and volumes, especially since that's not what it was like the first couple of matches. So, all things considered, is that what I would say. Now this Orange County match, we're looking forward to y'all. Definitely looking forward to y'all, but one match at a time.
Don't look forward to us too much. I do want to say, for you as a fan, soccer nerd, dude, Chris, who's been standing out. That's how I'd like to describe you. He's a dude.
He's a dude. You're a dude. I'm a dude.
Who's been standing out the most for you for New Mexico thus far?
Man, I think, God, that one might be tough for me. I could say, well, no, actually, it won't be tough. Deion Harris really has shined a bit. Deion Harris, obviously his last match, he had a goal of his own, but then he had that assist on that nice 90.5. But Deion Harris has really had a lot of vision, just a talented winger. I think also Jake LaCava, who he and Deion played in Tampa, but, they hadn't necessarily been on at the same time much this year. But Jake LaCava looks like great, like as far as just his ability to just get forward, on the wing. We could toss Christian Nava out there, returning to the team after 2 years out, with repeated ACL injuries. But he came back looking like stacked. Like, boy, hit the weight room, was, like loading up on all the right proteins. I mean, they might be headlining him a bit. So I think they've looked good, but also Chris Shakes has looked great too. And he's definitely made his short resume over the last few weeks. He's literally just been standing on his head in some places, and so it's been good. Of course, you guys remember Shakes from the time we came out to visit you guys last season, and yeah, he surely did make some work for himself then, but of course, the result, favored us. So,
conversely, who are you looking for more out of this far?
Say that again.
Who are you looking for more out of? Who is maybe underperforming in your eyes?
I want to see more from. No one, damn it, no one. No, I want to see more from Greg Hurst. And I think that it's not a bad ask because there's so many guys that are playing there. You got Niall Reed Steven, you got Greg Hurst, you got Justin Rennicks, who's been out with a little bit of a knock that he took, or I think maybe a concussion protocol. But like, you have so many guys that can go forward, and so do I want to see more Marlon Vargas? Yeah, sure, I definitely want to see that. But I think right now, I mean, the way I look at it is like we're still pretty young in the season. I typically look at games 5 through 10. That's kind of where I start to like really evaluate what I want to see more of, or where I think the identity of the team is. And I think that's just come through the experience of being a fan of this team, is that you really can't hit the panic button really until game 10, and I mean, you obviously hear people say teams shouldn't peak too early. And so I think by game 10, we kind of should know the identity. We should know, okay, who's really, leveling up. But if it's just so young in things, there's a little gelling going on. But yeah, I think that's what I'm kind of thinking right now.
I'm pretty certain Dylan was supposed to hand it off to me.
So take it.
I'll
Take it.
yeah, I'll go ahead and take it because Dylan wouldn't do that. One of the things that you mentioned that I wanted to kind of circle back to is you mentioned that New Mexico's play style this year has been very low volume in passing and looking to play a little bit of the counterattack, correct?
I would say the volume of passing has been really high, honestly. Like the first couple of games, it's like 500, 600 passes.
Okay, then that plays perfectly into the style that Orange County's been playing because we just had a season low of 324, 325 passes. So what are some of the things that you think that New Mexico's done well, especially in the last victory against Colorado Springs, that will look to break down a counterattacking team like Orange County?
I think they just focused on finishing. They focused on being effective a lot sooner in the match. I always look at the first 15 minutes. There really hasn't been much activity for us in that. But we just looked at kind of the scores of that match and how things went. I mean, first score is in the 64th minute. That's obviously a response to them scoring in the 57th, right? And so, for me, it's like they did well to just be a bit more responsive in the moment, because if once you cross an hour, then you start thinking like, is this thing going to happen? The team loves to come alive around the 80th minute, so for them to have gotten a score in the 64th and then double back in the 75th, it's like, okay, that changed the complexity of the game. You didn't have to sweat so much about the substitutes coming in off the bench. So they were able to ultimately be very effective, responsive. I think not having as many passes, not having as much rotation was key. Maybe certain teams are going to give them a bit more respect and come out and challenge them and not maybe seem to be like playing a low block. Because they do have a lot of scoring threats, and, New Mexico is showing you that if you want to sit low, that's fine, go ahead, but we're going to send guys in through the lines, and we're going to send them in diagonally. And we've got guys that really do want to, get in that 6-yard box. They really do want to get in at the 10 or 18, like wherever they can. The only thing you don't have to worry about as much is you don't have to worry about, anything coming in from outside too often. Like you don't, you're not really seeing a lot of dipsy-do, like, cross balls being sent into the box as much. So you might not have to worry about that right now. That would probably be that. It's not to say that there aren't guys that can't, like rocket, balls in, but, that's just not what you're seeing as much. Last year with Mackenzie Gaines, you might have saw that, guys sending lasers in.
All right, thanks. I'll go ahead and pass it off to Matt, who I believe has a question.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to go between the lines here because I had similar questions to kind of what Dylan and Brad have already asked. But I think what changes from last year to this? I mean, obviously it's very early, right? So I'm right with you. Don't hit the panic button too early. Right. What changes from last year to this year do you think? Let's say that if the bad form continues, what do you think has changed that may have led to that? Or what kind of differences are you seeing between the last season and this season that would explain if things continue? And what do you think kind of would make it flip or get better?
I think last year what you had is a coach that came in and most of the team was preserved for him. And, he didn't really have much to do with putting the personnel together. So he kind of had to just add water where he could. And I mean, much of what we experienced last year and heard him say was they're still gelling. We're still trying to figure out the perfect 11. And he was saying that up until week 26, week 27, week 28. That was kind of the thing. The lineups were changing so often, right? But now he's had that squad. He brought in guys this year that were with him in Vegas, right? Which is huge because they already know the system of play. So how much faster then did this team basically kind of pick up the program a lot faster, right? But they still would have that natural, like, bit to like, hey, let's still kind of jive with each other, because you don't know how fast dude is when you're sending a ball up front, So I think those little style traits are things that they're working out right now. Yeah, so I think where they're better is that it's the same guys and they know the program and the new guys know it. So there's a lot of competition in the ranks. I mean, down to the goalkeepers. The goalkeeper was, Raiko Arozarena was in Las Vegas, right? So, like I said, down the line, majority of the personnel knows Coach Sanchez. And so that's one thing that makes them better this year. And also just having some fresh faces in there and some new competition. You got guys that came in from like the top flight of Finland, right? Justin Ranix, and you have or like Nico Hamalainen, who played in Finland as well. And you have different talent in there. It's young, they're hungry. I think that's what makes it different, right? So,
maybe a little more time to get up and running, but hopefully once they do, it starts to get a little better.
Boys are coming for you.
We'll see.
Squeezing oranges this week. Squeezing oranges.
All right, Chris, any final thoughts that you have about this match that you want to share?
Yeah, I just, I think it should be a good one. We're going to have, I know there's going to be at least about 10, 11 traveling supporters. So you have a nice little small cadre of United fans chilling in Section 1. So, there'll be a little bit of that going on. Obviously it's nice to get you guys a little early in the season. I imagine we'd even see Chris Wehan show up to that one since he's living out in Cali now. I'd imagine he probably popped into that to show up to that game. And I don't know. I think ultimately we're just pumped, like we're glad the season's back. Obviously, I don't know if you guys touched on it already, but this still is not a CBA, right? So we're not 100% like pumped about the season. We're still very much like standing in protest with the players about why that needs to get done. But with what we have in all things considered, which is that, we're just looking forward to some footy and, hoping for a good turnaround. They go out to OC and back.
I will say, Chris, our supporters have been very vocal about their support for the players in a CBA with the league. So for your traveling fans, if they're wondering where Orange County fans stand, at least the supporters group, the County Line Coalition, they are definitely very vocal about that whole thing. Really quick, before we move on, we need to get your prediction for this match, Chris. What is your score prediction for New Mexico traveling to Orange County? And make sure it's realistic in your prediction.
Right. I'm not going to tell you 5-0 or whatever the long-standing Ray prediction is, right?
Dylan took that over last season, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah. Well, before I give my prediction, I got to shout out my girl, Veronica Zavala. She'll probably be at that game too. So I definitely got to give a shout out to my girl. Love you. This took over your show. It's fine. No, I think prediction. Let me say here. Honestly, I'm gonna say I think it's a 2-1 New Mexico win. I don't necessarily think we need to give you that third banger unless you guys want to power back and get that second goal somewhere in there. So I think we can kind of come out there because I'm telling you, like their defense, they're real defensive. Like if they're going to take that ball, I think the biggest thing about them is like they just need to do something with it because they like don't have any problems trying to be the kid with all the toys in the sandbox. Like that's just their profile. So 2-1 victory, New Mexico, pulped. That's what I'm saying.
You do know, Chris, that Orange County has not conceded more than one goal in any match this season. And as Dylan confirmed earlier, we are I guess third because there's two teams tied in front of us, but we are up there at the top of the table for goals conceded early on in the season. Really quick, Dylan, your prediction.
Sure. Yeah. Really quick. Just want to shout out Chris's girl as well. Just because I can, just for the chaos.
Yes.
I really thought you were going to laugh a little more than that. So I was like mildly terrified.
No, you're good, man.
I'm going to say, I'm going to go 1-0 Orange County here.
That's hilarious.
Brad, prediction.
1 green salsa to 1 red salsa.
Oh.
Which is better, though,
Get off
Brad?
the show, my man.
Are you
Depends on
giving
what
us
you're
this
having it with.
Anaheim chili, bro? What are you doing?
Just
Well,
stirring
Patch
up
is better
chaos
than Anaheim,
before
buddy. Patch
moving
is better
on.
than Anaheim.
Of course. I would tell you the same.
First of
Well,
all,
yeah.
Ray, it depends on what you're having it with. That's just the truth. There's
Go to Bob's
red,
Burger,
red or,
Matt, and
red
you'll
or
know.
green. This just depends on what it is.
That's
If you're
it.
putting green sauce on al pastor, you're doing it wrong. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
I'll go 2-1 Orange County.
Mr. Sacramento in our private chats is saying Fresno chili. Like that's even something.
How
dare you.
Chris,
Mr.
you're
Sacramento.
welcome to hang out just a little bit longer because we do need to do a quick preview on this
Oh, yeah.
Phoenix Open Cup match. And you know a
You
lot
got it.
about Phoenix. I know you
Oh
do.
yeah. Yeah, I would love to hang out for this.
So Orange County is hosting Phoenix in the Open Cup match tomorrow. Less than 24 hours as of right now. Pretty much in 24 hours, we'll know the results unless it goes to extra time and or penalties. But Orange County, again, strong defense over this year. We did go on the road and we drew in Phoenix with a late equalizer. We're at home. I'm going to go to you first, Chris, as the guest. What are your thoughts on this match? Who do you think has the advantage between Phoenix and Orange County?
Man, you guys are gonna kick me off quick. You know, I don't know, man. Phoenix always seems to have like that squad, right? I don't know. But going off of the table, I'd say it wouldn't be them. I'd say it'd be you guys. I think you have the
I
advantage.
love that Chris is trying to not make enemies on a Orange County Soccer Club fan show, but you know we love you, Chris. You could be honest with us. You don't have to make things special just for us. If you think Phoenix is going to give us trouble, let us know. We want to know so that our front office, our coaching staff can hear. What do you think?
I just think I think their form right now. I mean, 3 draws and a loss. You know, whereas you guys have done things right. I mean, yeah, okay, you're dipping into the draw sticks a little bit, but you know, I don't know. I just don't think they're necessarily like sticking out in my mind right now. Someone you need to worry about.
Dylan, you know, we recently played them on the road in Phoenix, so we know sort of what to expect out of Phoenix, unless for whatever reason they're changing up tactics crazily. Do you have faith in Coach Danny Stone in being able to look at that match, review the film, and know what we need to do to get the win and advance in the Open Cup on in 22 hours?
Great math skills. And this is no disrespect to Coach Stone, of course, but it's not really on the players to perform. I think regardless of what's asked of them, they do actually have to show up, be it a cup match or a league match. I mentioned earlier, there are guys that are coming back from injury. There are guys that are probably looking for minutes. This would be a great opportunity for them to probably make Danny Stone's job pretty hard. So I don't think we're going to overlook this match. I think this is probably one of the more lucrative opportunities for Orange County.
Brad, obviously we've all talked about it. Orange County struggles in Open Cup for some reason whatsoever. But I feel like this is a winnable match. Do you think we're going to see the traditional Open Cup Orange County, or do you think we're going to see an Orange County that can actually be successful against Phoenix? And what are they going to do? Like, who's going to be that player that's going to get us past Phoenix if you see that as an option?
I know we're 4 league matches and an Open Cup match into the season, but this is the healthiest the team has been since my time covering them. 5 weeks into a year, with the most depth that's needed to cover the midweek matchup games. We do have some pretty good youth kids that are eager to get onto the field, prove themselves. As long as the team continues to keep, clean sheets after 3 in a row, including the last Open Cup match, sky's the limit for these guys.
Matt, same question for you. Are you confident? Well, I guess not same question. Are you confident in Orange County tomorrow against Phoenix?
It's really going to depend on how seriously we take the game, and it's so hard to say at this point until we see the lineup. Really,
Take it serious.
I hope we do, but I could also see the fact that we've, as much as Dylan might think that it's early in the season, I do think at this point you do look at congestion, you do look at some rotation. I don't think our team is that deep. I don't really know how deep Phoenix is. So if Phoenix comes and plays their starting 11 and we don't, that might not be great for us. So it's really going to depend. I mean, I think our best 11 against their best 11, I think we can definitely win, especially at home. But if we rotate a bit and they don't, it's going to be tough to say. So I wouldn't say I'm confident going into the game. I don't play into this Open Cup curse, whatever stuff. I think people forget that we've had seasons where we've done okay. So we'll see what happens.
Can I just say, if Orange County comes out with a rotated squad against Phoenix, but did not rotate against Laguna United, I will be extremely frustrated and upset over those decisions. If there's any match that you rotate, it's against Laguna United, not against Phoenix Rising. But if we remember, against Laguna United, it was a full normal USL starting 11 pretty much. So that's what I'm hoping. And again, if we don't see that against Phoenix, then we know they're not serious about the cup. Chris, any last thoughts about this match? I'm going to get it from you because you're our guest.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Man, what a joy to get them again, but get them an Open Cup. You have a chance to really just kind of put the exclamation mark on your season early against them. I hope that you guys knock them out, because if you don't, we'll have to do it.
Well, I know New Mexico fans are going to be on the Orange County side for this match, right? Because
definitely.
There's two teams New Mexico fans don't like. They don't like Phoenix. They don't like El Paso. In one night, you can lose El Paso and Phoenix in the Open Cup in one swoop, right?
We would love it. We would love it. So go ahead and do your job. Look, we'll give you all of the juice you need, pun intended. We'll give you all the juice you need in our match, and you guys will be left desiring. I know it. You'll be left desiring, and then boom, Open Cup comes out, boom, and it's full squeeze. I hope that y'all just, like I said, just rain on them.
Good thing Orange County is going to come away with 6 points, or not 6 points, a win and 3 points.
Yeah, you got it right.
In the next few days here. Dylan, your prediction against Phoenix?
This one's always a little bit crazy, so I think we're going to go to pens here. But why not have some more penalty magic?
So you're going to put us in a weird position like we saw with Italy and Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Herzegovina.
Yeah, the V is before the INA.
Hey, you know what? Sorry.
It's
sorry to any Italy fans if I'm hurting your feelings, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't apologize to them.
Who's going to win in PKs, Dylan?
Well, technically, you don't win. You just advance.
Who's going to advance in PKs, Dylan?
Orange County. More cup playoff magic,
Brad, prediction.
1-0 Orange County.
Matt?
I'm going to say the same thing, 1-0.
That seems like basically on point for Orange County this year, right? Is a 1-0 or a 1-1. I mean, really, if you look at our results, those are our results except for the Open Cup against Laguna United, but that's a UPSL team.
What you
Chris,
got, Ray?
Prediction.
What's your prediction?
What's your prediction, Chris?
Oh, my prediction. Okay, well, man, Dylan, you're going to have me drinking orange juice shots in my room again, like from the time you guys played Tampa Bay?
Hey, you can drink orange juice. You can drink Malort. I know Brad would love you if you drink some Malort.
I love Malort.
We'd love if Chris will drink a shot.
I got a bottle over there. I love Malort, man. You're talking to the
Wait. This is breaking news. I've never heard anyone say that I love Malort.
Man,
Chris,
I'm
are
trying
you
to get the
officially-
little.
I've said that on this show. Ray, what is your prediction? Chris, enjoy
What
them.
is, yeah,
Hey, Chris, we need Chris's prediction, then I'll give
I'll
mine.
give you my prediction. Okay. I'm going to have 2 shots of Malort for that. Well, I might be at a watch party. So when I get home, I'll have those 2 shots. But my prediction is going to be, I don't think you guys go to Pens. I think you win it in 120, though. But I'll say I think it's 2-1 Orange County.
So
I'll take
it's
it,
going to
and I
be
appreciate
0-0 in regulation. We're going to score 2 goals in extra time. It'll
You're
be
gonna have
2-0
to.
Orange
Yep.
County
It's going to be like
to proceed in the
like
Open Cup.
chippy as hell.
Let's wrap things up here. As always, we could talk for hours with Chris. He's a great friend of the show. We were trying to figure out in the background who's been on the show the most out of like other podcasts and media. I don't care. We don't have any official records, but we know Chris is like the biggest friend of the show. He's been on many times.
I think it's
Anytime we
almost
ask
every
Chris-
season.
Anytime we ask you to come on, Chris, you're willing to do so, and we love it. That's what a fellow Clipper fan is like. He's willing to do everything for another fellow Clipper fan.
Oh, look at that.
Love it. I love it.
Andy, leave that.
We're going to get to our random thoughts and or what did we learn? You can do either or. Dylan, you first.
Yeah, I unfortunately, again, I have the misfortune of finding myself in Sacramento. So I often have the misfortune of finding myself at Sacramento Republic matches. Just hate watching. First off, shout out to Danny Crisosimo, who's still doing it. I love being around, and this red card has really made me think about all the people that don't really consume the sport at the level that we consume the sport, and therefore like have no idea what's going on at any moment. And everything's a flop if it's against their team, and everything's a pen or a red card if it's for their team. And then, they stand up and they walk away. And you haven't seen this person the whole time, and they're wearing a Wrexham t-shirt with the owner's last name on it. So my random thought is, when that's the kind of person that's in the stands, by God, do we really need to stand with the players? Because clearly our sympathies are at the wrong place. Yeah. Anyway, I see you have Wendy's pause, so we should probably pop over to Brad.
Yeah. What is Wendy's random thought and or what did we learn?
Yeah, Wendy just wants to wish all of our lovely Jewish community Hag Sameach, happy Passover, and safe fast for those who partake.
What about you, Matt?
My random thought is that the Angels are going to be very tough to watch this year, but at least 1 in every 5 games, they're going to be very fun to watch because Jose Soriano has nasty stuff.
Yeah, Angels are tough. It's a tough thing for me. I will still follow them, but it's tough. Chris, random thought and or what did you learn tonight?
Well, I learned that I'm the one who really likes orange juice and you guys don't. But no, I think my random thought is Angels aren't in LA, they're in Anaheim. So, go Dodgers.
I think there is something from the city council. They're fighting for that Anaheim name in the Angels. So we'll see what happens. I love that Matt is wearing the Anaheim Angels like logo hat because I think most true diehard Angel fans call them either Anaheim or California. They do not use the LA aspect.
That is good.
For me, California was what it was when I was a kid. So that's what I call them, California Angels.
Yeah,
Matt?
I remember it being California too.
I think Matt's nodding yes on that as well.
Sorry,
I have 2 quick things that I want to say. As of about 9 a.m. this morning, I only have one soccer team that I am supporting. That is your Orange County Soccer Club. If you want to find out why I'm not supporting any other team right now or watching them, you can ask me. I won't talk about it on here, but you can ask me privately. Chris, I have one last thing I want to ask you. James Harden or Darius Garland?
Darius Garland.
All right. I love it. That's the answer. That's the only answer there.
It's the
That
only
dude's
answer.
amazing.
He
That's
is
the his step back threes are freaking amazing. I know this is Soccer Podcast, so I'm not going to get all into that. I want to thank everyone that participated in this episode, including Brad, Matt, Dylan, Chris, and our producer Annie in the backgrounds, plus everyone that participated in the chat of this episode. Thank you for doing so. Hey, if you like us, if you follow us, if you listen to us, like us or follow us on social media or podcast platforms so you can get our message across to everyone. Also, make sure you support Chris, State of the Union podcasts.
State of the Union.
Part of the State of the United podcast. He's also a member of Black Diamonds, Seek and Strike, everything. He's a great guy.
Just does everything.
Chris is everything, man.
Man.
Hey, this is the Orange Black Soccer Cast. We are out.